Uh,
You ready?
We start now? Yeah. Yo, Artie, we start now?
Yeah.
All right, yo, close the door. All right. Artie's the man.
Yeah, I think he is.
They're the humanities. Let me say that again. They're the humanities. And they're two extremely bright, aspiring MCs. Tell me, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Anu One.
Well, what's that mean, son?
Well, Anu was a Sumerian and Babylonian god, the universe, and whatever he said came to reality. And that's kind of like what I do with rhymes, you know? That's how I figure it. Whatever I say comes to reality. I bring the Neteru, the Anunnaki, you know? I'm Anu.
If you don't know, now you know. But there's another person to this group. There's another part to the puzzle, another piece to add to the mix. Well, what's your name?
Well, my name's Troubadour.
Well, Troubadour, what's that mean?
Well, he was or they were medieval wandering poets, and that's what I'm doing. I'm walking through the mind of people, and I'm just reciting my poetry.
And if you don't know, now you know. But we want you to know this. Who's the man? Artie.
Artie.
Artie's the man. Who's the man?
Artie.
Artie's
okay,
the man.
Bring the beat in, Artie.
All right, guys, we're rolling. I'm the man? Hey, guys, did you really mean that?
Yes, this is the Sixth Sense, here with the humanities. Now that we got the introduction settled, there's just one more fact that we need to let you know. And first I'ma start with my man right here. Yo, when's your birthday? How old are you?
Yo, man, I'm just 15, man.
He's just 15. You know what I mean? There's another brother, you know what I mean? Another guy. He's also got he's a minor himself. Why don't you tell him your age?
Yeah. I'm also 15. Fresh.
15 plus 15 just means 30, but I don't know what that means. But like I said, this thing right here is definitely something that you need to listen to and appreciate as a whole entity, not as just separateness.
Word.
So just sit back, open your ears, open your eyes, and open your head, and realize that this is the humanities, and their name says exactly what they do and what they're here for. This is the Sixth Sense, and I'm letting you know that the humanities are on some next shit. Peace.
Scrambling for the times tables, and I was obstructed by the rambling of five fables. On the wall, I live forever, but I won't make that same mistake again. I'll never lose sight of being, and I'll never break the pen. I've seen fate grasped by the swift wisp of life's hands. Vernacular proverbs, not grandsire phrases, are in demand. Unobtrusive artists bear positive scars of confrontation. Conspicuous vagabonds by the city's leaders score from patrons. Digitized nation, forgotten vows of the 1700s. Y chromosomes exit homes, prone to say I'm done, kids. If ever that far, virgin I scar, do me this one grace. Rid this shrew, averted be shrew from this place. Note these words eloquently to a snare in the bass. My beetle brows frown as I am crossed with disgrace. Disgrace, seldom heard by the likes of open ears. Yet persistent am I through the lies, trials, and jeers. Stereotype scenarios of drunken rapists head nodded. When we are merely mortals with morals and take part in blood clotting. Normal, tied to the moronic norm, solely on two words. Far from it, we plummet to find our way in this bowl of curds. The implications of potency need not be paid mind. All too often are the critics the ones who fell behind. I glance at my enemies apathetically, but invite them to sit, chat, reveal their woe is me's, and see they wear brick hats. Parallel lines, no, but parallel minds do cross. Those who's raising up a circle, I'm afraid they're at a loss. Alas, thus lust. Nevertheless, furthermore, hereby, harsh dimension of consciousness may have symptoms of teared eyes. Teetering on the edge of genius, but overshot the turn. I render my thoughts congealed as my mind resumes its churn. All too often up in the rear end of ridicules, everyone pucker up. I've never cried over clean spilled milk, I've only sucked it up. Never again will absence of vocalization be the death of me. My jaws rupture, rapture of conversation sets them free. As parting of waves is such utter ecstasy, as is the listener adjacent to impressed with me. I went scrambling for the times tables when I was obstructed by the rambling of 5 fables. I know all, I live forever, but I won't make that same mistake again. I'll never lose sight of being, and I'll never break the pen. I went scrambling for the times tables when I was obstructed by the rambling of 5 fables. I know all, I live forever, but I won't make that same mistake again. I'll never lose sight of being, and I'll never break the pen. The prodigious 7th poet stands with his fiddlesticks as a mic, with the cries of atomies and the mutiny of commerciality tonight. With punchlines, scoffers, the foundation of average commoners. My words are reality from the lips of an MC philosopher. I'm tackled by shackles in a slum dungeon of a castle. I'd rather be a surfer on a peasant than be hung on my court like a lasso. Feeble simpleton God shield, I'll inject you with the insulin that causes our loggerheads who led orisons for the common people's submission. This screen's held by the foundation of a holy cloth and a cross, leaving more people lost than a computer nerd who's still hacking on DOS. I'll feed penny worth of knowledge to days that confuse slugger beds who dwell on vibrations of cat who's the significance of cative bedheads. And my indelibility to be dropped like dewdrop in some Orion's belt, in which I read over my supremacy, which all can be felt. I'll come in and embarrass you like a cock ring and sting like indelible bee stings. For Lama Stott, I'm the hollow down, which is a new song angels sing. Perhaps I'm the god of wax, touched by the aspect of which man lacks. I'll bathe in an island with the net true and foul. I have chats and use asses who stole smoke by Japanese kamikazes as war pain and battle bills and partisans. See if you can stop me, or crow keep or hoodwinks from the matrix of reality. My mentality is a correlation with humans' mental fatality. Dwell in fool's paradise and still rest or living from earth-treading stars. The versal world is devoured by cowards, summoning braveheart bars. Timeless guitars compose vibrations that cause wrinkles in space. Sitar tunes played for earth children with impassive faces. Chase me up the stairs of irrelevance and surely I'll trip and fall down. I'm bound to elevate this sound and make it world renowned. I need to reincarnate this more form of being, cause it's not working for me. And actually I don't care, son. So simultaneously, I'll share the feeling of being jolly and melancholy. I went scrambling for the times tables when I was obstructed by the rambling of 5 fables. I know all, I live forever, but I won't make that same mistake again. I'll never lose sight of being, and I'll never break the pen. I went scrambling for the times tables when I was obstructed by the rambling of 5 fables. I know all, I live forever, but I won't make that same mistake again. I'll never lose sight of being, and I'll never break the pen. Barren land, vast and uncharted by man. Too many crossroads, decisions for one to contend with. Expansive yet compact, hard-shelled and not easily understood. Penetration of a TH ought not to be attempted. You might just find yourself in the deep end with no life experience, dense yet inflatable. I find myself to be at the far end of the spectrum, held by gravity, but always mistaken to be airborne. Born to air out the chasms enclosed. Filthy, dusty, rusty, and never reproached by the likes of me. Comprehensive quotas to live up to. Stress factor evident, penitent, still bold, moving in the neutral direction. Influences widen synapses. Creativity collapses. A mouth not filled with words but expressed in gasps is no less a vision. I blew shift to the emptiness. The glass is no longer half empty, it's half full doubly. Not to be taken for a false sense of superiority. There is always a quest for conformity. Look at me. I am the black and the grayscale life perception some depict. Poetic yet pessimistic. Pessimistic yet poetic. This is a tale of misused affection. Directly after birth, I could tell that slap on the ass was just a tad harder than needed. Plus, I had already taken my first breath. All the other babies had fancy rectangular cells, but mine was better. It was huge and had pretty tempting smells. If you was some sort of rodent or breed of valley cat, I face upwards and through the firescape above, I could see the sun, moon, light, dark. Company came off and then scurried away when I tried to make vocal conversation. Hopping squeals and droning vibrations, roaming its way through the maze of corridors and dimly lit homes of of cardboard. Then suddenly a disgruntled man, a woman couldn't tell, heard my cries and arose me from my temporary resting place and brought me to a new home with much less space and inadequate insulation. Drops of filmy liquid dripped down from the sides of the square brown ceiling. From the pit of my stomach I felt that empty feeling and thought back upon the first few hours of my lifetime line. The humans are supposed to cry through the white lines and hell through pot lines, and why was I transported to this surrealistic leviathan of existence, central term abandoned, stranded with no way to accept the self-sufficient foster parent? I want identity, I want identity. Where's my mommy? I realized my decision was hasty and feeble, but hormones got the best of me. 7 minutes of gaiety is far from more 39 weeks of sucking it in and claiming I'm gaining weight. Fortunately, 6 of those early months of unnoticeable growth were towards the end of my learning. The obvious changes occurred during hot weather and high flashes. Too bad the funding was inadequate to spare the suffering of 2 beings. The third coward fled the scene without justification or meaning. A decade and a half is no age to reproduce, nor is a score to aid in the making of the product. So I scoured the pool for a ledger ladder to hoist my spirits, but neither is in sight beside this powder and pipe. A sorry life for a sorrow soul. Behold, the time has come for the consequence of no contraception. The crown, I feel it. What can I do? As I sit in this bathroom flooded with the stench of birth and misused affection, I wish he had been my better half and not 1/14 of a fortnight erect. I pray this will be the last I see of the child. I can't stand the look on his face, empty without identity. So I place this wrapped body in this alleyway dumpster and hope no one has seen my horrific placement of something that was meant to be heartfelt. I trust it will forget at age 2, but sadly I won't. But sadly I won't. I wish I had a husband. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have a small fling if no one found out I was 5 years his senior. Besides, she's drunk and won't remember who it was anyway. Shapes and form distorted in my eyes, and now all I seek is the prize of orgasm. 7 minutes later, a distraught petite female screams as she sees her rubber on the nightstand, alone after this one night stand, torn by emotion insanity. What if someone finds she's jailbait? What if she's pregnant? Damn, the scenario's tainted, let me flee. I don't wanna risk paying child support or being seen by her. Maybe I'll just hop in my bucket seats and drive a long, long ways from here. Erase the memories I have and hope I don't become a dad or receive any phone calls telling me so. The summer's done and I must return to my home. This should be ample time for the circumstances to blow over. I've given it the cold shoulder, frozen in time. I'm walking aimlessly through these alleys and hear a distress call. I reach my neck over the edge of the blue dumpster and there it is, an infant child, mildly odoriferous and pitiful. I take it in my arms and try to a corner and wonder, how could someone abandon a newborn or a human for that matter? Then I see, just as easily as I did, could this be my kid? I wish I had someone. I wish I had one. I wish I had someone to love me. I wish I had good love. I wish I had someone to go home to.
We're the humanoid, an alien tribe at the far end of the galaxy who breathes the breath of dead corpses belonging to those of our forefathers, hoping to bring wisdom to our minds. But our minds are blind and so-called life revolves around time and time and time again. We are abused and confused by the very things we understand. We dance the dance of the humanoid and run around with loincloths and spears and cross desert sands and steal the lands of our brothers, disobey our Mother Earth who gave birth to us. We build cosmological pyramids in honor of Ra, which correlate with galaxy stars far, far, far deeper than space. My face consists of slanted eyes, thick lips, and stringy hair, a mixture of all the races of the humanoid. We eat the forbidden fruits in the Garden of Eden and cleanse our bodies in our cousin the Nile. And one day every child shall smile when we speak in the tongue of peace and cease as an individual, but combine as one, the humanoid. And we avoid the secrets whispered in our ear by our grandmother, the universe, and turn our head to our new friend, Mr. Evil and his wife, Miss Ignorance. And hence, it makes no sense why our subconscious must be so tense. We conjure mental prisons out of thin air and are held captive by our own united thought. Hello, Mr. Evil and Miss Ignorance. I'm the humanoid.
Cannibalistic misfigured patrons of contradiction, lipstick, who are puppeteers of a populist society of idiots and misfits. Your Roosevelt, here's a thought. I'll snap you and your big stick. Kill Giuliani and smack Koch in the crotch with what's left of it. Parasitical flies on the tangled mango web of various angles, constructed by arachnids and with the freedom in which you dangle. Prophetic angels shackled by the corruption of Bible Belt ministers, miniature sentences of unabridged vocab who speak of monetary blisters. Annihilate the country's morale and strangle Johnny Appleseed. Cries of disloyal slaves echo. Please set me free, and I'll plant mutated trees so my enemies can devour their fruits with roots resembling elf locks. NYC on every other block. So I'll turn every citizen into robots, programmed for the apathy of knowledge. Live their pseudo college debilitated, ignorant, feeble minds rot. Machinations and plots of warlocks who conjure hip hop, corrupted of God our ancestors, breaking on corners and street blocks. I'll catch the bald eagle and keep it caged on my backyard. I feed it truth and justice and make an attempt to adjust to this. I'll let Saddam use it as target practice and of course trap it in a biological warfare facility near to the wall and thumbtack it. Antic faces decorated with the blood of slaves and labor workers. Who am I to judge the ringleader in a political circus? Is it my purpose to indulge in a fool's paradise with curses, construct monuments in my favor to leave nothing in your purses? We're all ingredients in the boiling pot, and only the cream of the crop shall rise to the top. I'd rather be united than free and split apart. We're all one race, modeled but united at the mind and the heart. Floating above the abysmal red ocean on a red, white, and blue ship, boarding on anti-collectivist, pro-individualist rhetoric shit. Spit on Stalin, hear him throwing the fit, and all out hollering about the demolishment of the Iron Curtain by a democratic bulldozer. For certain, I'm flirting and laughing at the communistic static. Let's get sponsored by the NRA and kill socialists with automatics. We're the product of a cogent supplied by various races to make spaces and racism soon to be erased from America's face. Smoke ganja laced with El Salasi's thoughts and expressions, exhale them in the face of neo-Nazis to teach them a lesson of righteousness and equality. Follow me into a realm where everything is free, opened by a key extracted from the belly of Robert E. Lee. I call it America, where I can be me, while in third world countries victims of communism plead for the freedom that they seek. And the bees who take the honey from the Constitution are losing responsibility and indulging in absolutely nothing. This pencil isn't working for me. Maybe I can erase poverty from capitalism. I reflect it in a prism, magnify and aim it at collectivism. And all these isms are getting me mad, confused. While monopolies are outlaw, Gates is getting his ass sued. I'm glued to the thought that this is my perfect country, and I laugh when Marxists and fascists try to hate me. If the rotten apples are the fruit that feed the snakes of this land, then they may starve in a desert of their hypocrisy in this band. We're all ingredients in the boiling pot, and only the cream of the crop shall rise to the top. I'd rather be united than free and split apart. We're one race modeled but united at the mind and the heart. We're all ingredients in the boiling pot, and only the cream of the crop shall rise to the top. I'd rather be united than free and split apart. We are all one race modeled but united at the mind and the heart. Peace.
Come on,
just
man.
as easily be
I wanna
hard.
beat the drum.
But why exert the
dance
effort
the
of
rhythm
softening
silence,
feeble minds
and chant to him
when they're
while
already
fire
drowning
started by
in the
Prometheus,
shame of their
echoed in
own
the walls of
existence?
rock.
We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking. We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking. Perhaps I'd like to indulge in a realm of mental contradiction where fiction is truth and Jesus freaks actually listen. When quadrilogies explode the operas and give standing ovations and darkness listens. A life is a figment of your imagination. Space is congested, reality exists in little glass bottles fed to toddlers, and the unknown reciprocates the known. The wind is blown by big trees and leaves tease the ground, and sounds can be heard as silence as the universe falls down. Scientists dig their answers as artifacts in the skies of the future. Time is denounced and the gap is sown by metaphysical sutures. Backwards letters is just the only undeciphered stolen words. Birds dwell in the soil and the people are actually shitted by turds. Have you ever seen a corner circle or an oval pyramid constructed by ghosts that died and never actually existed? Twisted circles assisted by the jagged, ragged corners of squares. Painful, baneful looks of a headless horseman who stares. 180-degree stairs leading to an endless, senseless haven belong to a man called God, longing for something but doesn't care about the foul creatures he named humans, consuming the good and spitting the the evil. This life of contradiction is fiction. In this tainted utopia where the archangels dwell in, plagued by sin where one can touch and feel the gin. I speak the truth with two tongues from a lying hole called the mouth. I'm a freedom bird following the direction of the north star south. About to shout in silence the guidance given to me by the wise old owl who falls from the limb of a broken tree. You see, I can find the darkness in the spectrum of light, sight to behold and told to my future ancestors. A gesture of artistic poetry in a sea of land, holding the hand of a man who allows life to slip through the holes like sand. This is my plan to create my utopia, a perfect contradiction where right is wrong and wrong is right, and only darkness glistens. Let's teleport to planet X and swim through rotations of rock and ice, while sleeping on mattresses of broken spaceships left by their natives, and smacking on the luscious fruit of Nubia, used to stimulate brain cells for our further thinking and pondering on subjects not allowed for the gray matter of our human skulls. We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles, masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking. We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles, masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking.
Dictracontion, elusive checkpoints traceable. My distorted focal point makes my blueprint seem written in red pen. Surveyed the face enthusiasts turn lackadaisical. Filled out the blank black paper in light of trends, hence the wide-eye blind find the unseen. Purgatory bliss for the one submissive. Ragdoll statue, limp, stiff-legged, unclean. Bent joint appendage holds the truth to misgive. Never before was this familiar stranger. My paws in motion, mere glances saturate continuous synaptic fixations. The loss and lapse lacks potency for needless boasting. Forest fate may have it, not required for your replication. A risen demonic separation of 4 worlds, 10 planets, thrice, not loved by fanatics. Cloudy glass building, shattered by a ton of feathers hurled in a straightened ball. Flattened over, lost asleep on a mattress. Halted on rest, sleep stationary, headed practitioners headless. Redeem my will for restraints as crime of the land. This glory was well worth being bedless. You know not the numb sensation of being unable to stand. Curved thought, street lighting caught, green lighting halt. At the reverse spectrum and liberty shackled, I fought clear lining and bought. Teams lying sought to make and shift, makeshift factory spackle. Expose the blemishes of overjoy and sympathetic heckling. Carbonic rage paints the town mayor in black. Odd stack evenly and fell against the fledgling. Took an eternal hiatus and never radio back. Must have been mixed signals in a basket case. Somewhere along the line of the bloody transaction, intention was lost. Return safely if that's what you would like to call it through space. Merge messages and true reason for being, the cost. I want to leave the caravel of sunken ships, lifted from their sandy graveyards, and steer clear of influences, false accusations and assumptions, declaring themselves as ruler of their cavernous ideas, street peddler quality advice, and bootlegger sincerity, masked by need.
We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles, masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking. We conform to the unloved and downright dismal smiles, masking our whole heart and heartbreak, and sympathize with the popular looking over our shoulders and pleading for us to stop thinking.